Hello everyone, this is Glenda Winkleman and welcome back to Creative Grandma. I'm here at my mom's and with the help of my grandson I'm doing a blast from the past because my mom has just about every Afghan I ever made all over her house, so I grabbed a few and thought it might be fun to show everyone some of the Afghans I have. Now this first Afghan here is the fall floral, and you've probably seen this before because this is available on my website. So this is a Tunisian crochet in the simple stitch, and then you cross stitch on the Afghan, and then it has a wonderful front post border that joins the strips together. So this is just one of the Afghan stitch Afghans I made. So I'm just going to stand up. I think you've already seen this enough. So here's this one. So I'm going to put this aside. We'd have family poker night, and that's why I designed this one. Now this one was kind of like the diamonds in a deck of cards, and then my mom kept this and kept it in her car, so if she ever broke down she had a blanket. So this is just basic black, gray, and red with the diamonds going down it. Nothing fancy. So there's that one. Just a fun theme to show everybody some of the things I've made before. Now these patterns are not available because most of the patterns are copyrighted because they were sold to the magazines. Now this one I made, oh my goodness, this one I must have made 30 or 40 years ago, so that shows you how old some of these blankets are. This is just regular Tunisian Afghan stitch, and what I like to tell people is you can do a whole solid Afghan in just plain white or whatever color you like. And then if you have a cross-stitch chart that you like, just transfer it right onto your blanket. So again, here's just a nice festive springtime. This thing is really old. I'm surprised it didn't rot by now. That's my little spring birdie one. And then I have another one. This is kind of, I was going through the Japanese phase, and I wanted to make something that looked kind of oriental. So this is just a 3-panel. Again, these are all Afghan stitch. You can see the little oriental blossoms going down the side. And then I used a puff stitch and single crochet to join them together. So that's my little oriental Afghan. And I think this was published, it might have been in Crochet World, Crochet Fantasy, or one of the crochet magazines from about 20-30 years ago. And then I just have this simple blanket. I don't know what I was thinking when I made this. This was just a baby blanket. I did little yellow squares with pink and blue, like a quilt type design, but I should have used white instead of yellow because the design don't show up quite as good. But this is just using Afghan stitch and then cross stitching a little quilt pattern on. And this, my lord, has to be at least 40 years old. So there's that. This is one of my all-time favorites that I made, and this, again, I think this was in Crochet Fantasy. And again, I do not have the patterns for these any longer because these are all copyrighted now, so they were sold. But this, I think, was actually on the cover of one of the Crochet Fantasy magazines. And again, this is just a pure white Afghan stitch Afghan, and I just cross-stitched a design on it. So if you're looking for something special for somebody that you like and you need a gift, you know, find a graft of something they like and then just transfer that cross-stitch pattern right onto the Afghan, and you can have a custom design for someone who's really hard to make something for. And then I added this wonderful border on the ends with the fringe, and it just offset the design. It's just a silhouette type design. That's just one of my favorite ones. Simple but elegant. And then I have just one more to show you. This one I made when my daughter was little. I thought it was a unicorn, but it's just a little horse. You could probably put a little unicorn thing on there. And she just loved horses, so I put the little hearts to show that she loved the horses, and put the little horse with flowers. This was just a quick blast in the past to just show you some of the Afghans I made using the Tunisian Afghan stitch. I hope you enjoyed this short video, just kind of wanting to just show them off a little bit. It's been a long time since I've seen them. So get creative, get crocheting, and until next time, happy crocheting everyone!